what's up, guys? My name is Timothy Lovelock, and I want to personally thank you for watching and listening to Love Over Everything podcast. Here, we show love to people doing dope things and inspiring things all over the world. So what better way to shed some light on the things that they've done in the past and the things that they're currently doing right now. So please subscribe, hit that like button, follow button, whistle button, cowbell button, whatever it is, so you can stay current with the new content that's coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, our honorary guests. Ladies and gentlemen, Jess Rightt. I said it twice, but it's all good.
Amazing intro.
Well, thank you.
Amazing intro.
Thank
that
you.
was good. He's a professional.
Yo,
I better know who I'm sitting next to. This is Mr. Lovelock here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, you do quite a few things. First and foremost, who are you and what do you do?
Don't you love this question? I feel like it's like such a loaded question.
Who are you? Do you know who you are?
Because you feel like your mind goes everywhere, but you have to, like, in reality, do that 30-second elevator pitch.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But just to keep it real, I mean, first and foremost, I'm just a human, just trying to be my best self and inspire others to do the same, So
Okay.
a couple years ago, I would have said, I'm a realtor here in South Florida, but I feel like that doesn't really define me, as a person of like what we do. But I do help people buy and sell real estate. Recently been investing into real estate within the past year and a half.
Okay.
So focus on short-term rentals for sure. It's a amazing field, and helping others get into short-term rentals.
Okay. So, obviously, you're in the real estate game. Now, the spike that has happened is just, do you think this is a cause for why the inflation started? Because this is crazy. In my neighborhood, a house just sold for $675,000, which is like damn near $200,000 over probably what it's actually worth.
Right.
Obviously, I know for a fact the house didn't appraise from this, but it was probably a cash offer. But do you think this is the cause of why everything is inflated right now?
I don't think it's the cause. I think it's when COVID hit, it was a time change in like literally everything, and the supply went down a lot. Mm-hmm. So of course you have supply and demand. So when there's low supply, there's just more competition, which makes it just keeps ranking up higher. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that supply and demand just played a huge factor. And we live in Florida. The northern states, they didn't like how things went, not to get political, because I'm not a political person.
Land on the free.
So everyone was just flocking, We're a growing city.
So, okay, so now with the inflation of the houses, I have a couple realtor friends and whatnot, and obviously you're in the same industry. Do you feel that since we're 2 years in, do you feel like it's becoming, it's leveling off a little bit? And also, do you feel that we're about to hit a recession? Because obviously what goes up
must come down.
Right.
This is the talk, right? This is the most popular talk right now. I do think it is going to adjust. I don't think there's going to be this big crash, this 08, 09 crash where you can get $50,000 houses. No, you missed out. You missed out on that
really
trend.
Did.
You missed out. But I do think it's going to adjust. You know what I mean? I think interest rates are going up, so obviously that is playing a factor. So I do think it's going to adjust back into a buyer's market for sure, which is, I'm ready for it.
Okay. So,
and recession, yes, I do believe that we are kind of already in one, but no one has a sign saying, hey, guys, we're in a recession.
True. Okay. So, and then as you mentioned, okay, the interest rate has gone to like 6.5%.
Yeah.
And before, when everyone was buying, it was damn near about two and a half, two and a quarter maybe.
Yep.
And I never understand.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it really is.
Not sure if we'll ever see that again.
Who puts the button? Who does it?
Those up there.
You ever watch the moving Trading Places?
And then familiar.
With Eddie Murphy. It was Eddie Murphy, right? Okay. When they're like in charge of like kind of like the economy, and like they could hold and sell stocks.
Right. Well, that yeah.
But they're kind of like the ones saying, "Oh, like put it at this rate,
Right.
or jack it up."
Controlling the masses.
Do you feel like there's someone that's doing that, or is
Yeah.
it automated?
I think there's the feds up there are controlling it.
Now the company. So who do you work with for the real estate stuff?
I'm with EXP Realty.
EXP. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard of him?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Are they porting those?
It's a cloud-based brokerage, which is what I love because we're already kind of in that whole metaverse type world. So there's one broker that runs the whole state of Florida. It's different. It's not your typical brick and mortar. Okay.
So what before this real estate stuff? What were you doing before, and what made you want to get out of it to do the real estate?
Yeah, great question. Before real estate, I was slinging groceries at Publix. I worked there for like 4 or 5 years. Started off as a bagger, cashier, customer service. Okay. So I took a lot from that world. Okay. And it made me also realize that this is just not for me. You know, this is not it. Okay. You know, so growing up, I always wanted to get into houses, but I thought I wanted that whole fix and flip, that whole dream. Okay. And then I moved to Orlando. I was into the broadcasting. I liked sports a lot. So I almost was like a sports reporter, broadcaster. Okay. Couldn't find a job. Nor did I really try that hard because I was partying too much. But shout out to, lessons.
Yes, yes.
So got my real estate license out there and moved back home where a bunch of people know me. And then here we are 5 years later.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26, okay.
Yeah, turning 27 next month.
August.
And you, since we're talking.
Oh, she gonna put the age out there.
I'm kidding.
I am. What? We gotta change battery. Wait, it's not plugged in. Technical difficulties.
This is real life.
Yeah, we good? All right. We just had a little technical difficulty, but we're back. We're back. You hit me with the age.
Is that where we were at?
Yeah. No, I'm 36.
36.
I'm 36. I don't feel it though.
No, you don't look it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's that good water.
You know what I mean? Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Gotta eat your veggies, kids.
Yes. So.
He looked at me like, what?
Yeah, he doesn't like broccoli.
Yeah.
All right. So you do real estate, and I've been seeing on your page, you have a passion for Airbnbs.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Airbnb is a platform, and I think it's a game changer. Okay. You know, it's an amazing opportunity for people. You can bring in, you have the opportunity to create experiences for people. It's a hospitality business for sure. But you can bring in an investor standpoint, you can bring in at least twice the amount of rental income versus the long-term tenant.
Now, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
So the gain on this is massive. So we know what the potential is. Is there headaches along the way?
Of course.
Oh, okay. See, but I feel like people don't talk about that.
People do not talk about
that.
And they make it all just peaches and cream.
And I just saw that Airbnb posted that they're not doing no more parties.
No more parties. No more events.
No more events at the owner's homes.
Yes.
Okay. So clearly when I saw that, I'm like, oh, so this is a big problem.
Right.
So we're talking like they're trashing the place?
Yeah. Especially in Atlanta, too, was big for a lot of parties. They just cracked down on, like, all of their rules. You can only, like, have 2 Airbnbs because you need a license for each one. You can only have 2 within the city. You have to be, like, a primary resident of Atlanta. So that people have, like, 20 units out there.
Yo, you know what I mean? Atlanta, man. What y'all doing out there, Atlanta?
It was a lot of parties. It's Atlanta. So a lot of people were partying out there.
So, okay. So that was my biggest. I always thought of that. I'm like, so how can you gauge not getting some? Because obviously we can come in. I could come in. Let's say you're a homeowner. I come in a tuxedo. Like, good evening. Yes, we're going to have a good weekend. How do you gauge someone that's going to party?
Right.
And if I come like tuxedoed out, bow tie, suitcase, you're like, oh, he's look at this fine gentleman. Then you leave and I throw on my jersey and my Air Force Ones, and we throwing Lil Durk. We playing Lil Durk. Like, how do you gauge who's coming into the house?
Yeah. So obviously you're gonna run into issues, right?
Okay.
And you can do your best to prevent them. You can put in a noise monitoring system. So if at 11:30 the noise levels are skyrocketed, obviously there's something going on.
Okay.
Ring doorbells, if there's 20 cars out front. Wi-Fi tools where you know how many people are connected to your internet. So there's
I didn't
different
know that.
things.
Okay, that's actually that's smart.
There's different things to go about it, but obviously, can we curse?
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah. Okay. Shit does happen.
It happens.
Yeah.
So if you do run into a party, you have rules.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they broke your rules, so they're gonna have to pay the fine. If you're going through Airbnb, they will cover it as well.
That was gonna be my next question. They trash your house. Do you got to go through the court system, or are you going through Airbnb?
Yeah. So if it is a Airbnb reservation and you have, obviously your checkout cleaning is so important. Your cleaning team, they have to go in there and inspect the whole house. So if there's a TV damage, windows damage, there was a party, there's weeds, whatever there is, smoking in the house, you have to report it right away, and they'll cover you up to $1 million.
Up to what?
$1 million. So I'll take that. I mean, I will.
Up to $1 million.
Your platform,
Okay, so how about fraud claims?
As far as
asking for a friend.
I will not partake in that.
Well, I'm asking for a friend.
Proof. As long as you have proof.
Okay.
The proof is in the pudding, right?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, that I always thought of that, and just I was just always curious on how that happened.
Right.
So obviously you have a passion for that. Is there one? I mean, you're doing both at the same time. Is there one that's a little bit busier than the other? Obviously, Airbnb can be seasonal. Or per se, I don't know, but is there one that's kind of like busier than the other?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a firm believer in whatever you put your energy towards is what is going to come to you. You know, so this past year and a half, I put a lot of energy towards Airbnb and short-term rentals. So that is more busier for me right now. Real estate is still a very busy market. I know a lot of people are saying it's starting to slow down, but in our market, it's still high demand. Still very busy. All of my realtor friends are doing very, very well right now.
Like, where are they getting this money from? Like, nobody's working. Like, I went to my brother's house in Atlanta. Like, every store had need help.
Yeah.
Where's this money coming from? Because maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Everyone is hiring right now, but people are selling, taking advantage of this market up north, and then they're coming down here. So $350, $400 cash is fine for them because they just sold $800 up there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's a lot of people flocking down.
Yeah, they are. So I had a question. I asked everyone this, and I'm going to ask everyone that comes on this show.
Shoot.
What is one of your most iconic experience in real estate, Airbnb, or even just life that you could remember? Iconic experience that you'll never forget.
Iconic experience that I would never forget. Not to say like there's so many, but it's tough to narrow like one down.
Well,
when it comes, so let's go. What? Go
ahead. No. Give me a few or just
So when it comes to like real estate, being a realtor, because I know that there's a lot of people getting into real estate right now, as they should. It's a great field, but it's not something that just comes easy. Okay. You don't just get your real estate license and start making money. You have to work for it. You got to network, build, really good relationships. I'm sure with your other realtor friends as well. So I would say the most iconic is just really staying consistent with marketing as far as, Instagram, Facebook, showing up, showing houses, even if I don't have a buyer with me, I'm on my story. Oh, look at this 3-2 that I'm showing. And I'm not. I'm just, So staying consistent and it paying off where, someone meets, my brother and he's an investor and he just has tons of cash to blow. Okay. And within like 3 months, I helped him buy like 4 different houses. Okay. All cash transactions.
Well, that's amazing.
So like something like that, it really opens your eyes because there's no cap in real estate. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So what would you tell the person that's wanting to get into real estate or Airbnb what advice would you give that person? Because obviously, just like you said, you got to work for it. You got to market yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a hustle. It's not just, oh, I passed the test, which does take a long time.
Right. And
it's like, okay, I'm ready. Who's in line that's been waiting for me?
Right.
Like, no, you got to put yourself out there, as you said. What would you tell the person that's wanting to get the license and get into this business now, with the inflation of prices of these homes and the Airbnb? What would you tell them?
So for anyone, as far as a realtor, as far as short-term rentals, first things first, and I had to learn this the hard way, is you have to believe in yourself. You know, like you have to start with that self-work, because if you don't truly believe, it's going to reflect into your confidence and how you're speaking with other people, you know? So once you get that down, just stay consistent in doing the work.
Okay.
You know, because once you fall off and you don't do the work, you will not receive any type of reward or any type of business.
Yes.
And there's some stat out there that like 80% of realtors quit real estate after a year. And that it's true, because you only get paid on commission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to put in that work. So I would just say stay consistent with doing the work and showing up for yourself.
Okay. And I actually did hear about that number. I don't know if it's 80 or not, but I did hear there is a high percent.
It's a high percent. I
they
haven't
just
looked at
quit.
it in a while.
So, and then the test, how long does that test take to pass?
Oh, man. I mean, I always put myself out there, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I failed 5 times that state exam because it's hard. They try and trick you, you know, and it took me, I think they give you like 3 hours.
Why do they want to trick you for it?
They trick you.
So is it like they ask you a question?
It's the wording.
It's the word.
And it's always 2 answers. I promise. It's always 2 answers where you're like, well, could be that one or it could be that one, you know?
But is a majority of it is not common sense?
No, not at all. Not at all. There's some.
I tried.
There's maybe like 3, you know?
3, okay. And then the test is like a couple hours long, right?
Yeah. It's like, it was 110 questions for me.
Okay. And then like, you know how in math they teach you calculus and all this stuff that we're not using right now?
Yeah.
Is it actually useful?
No.
See?
The math questions, there's about 5 to 10 math questions on the real estate exam, which they should be teaching. I don't even want to get into that conversation, but it should be taught in school.
It should be taught in school. It's 5 math, like what?
Like interest,
2 plus 2?
Oh, okay. You know, stuff like that.
Okay. 2 plus 2.
Not the easy math.
Oh, okay.
But it's the real life math that like we should know how to do.
All right. So within your journey, did you ever have doubts that the person that you are today, that you couldn't obtain? Did you ever have doubts? Like, I don't know, like, you know, just clear. I mean, you failed it 5 times. It's you know, because it's a hustle, and yes, you even being a real estate agent I still consider you being an entrepreneur, because you're doing the work.
Yeah.
You know, the company is only giving you the name that's associated with you.
Yep.
But you got to do the work. So was there ever a point where just doubt of you becoming the person you wanted to become, who you are today? Yes,
for sure. Especially when you start at a young age. So anyone who's starting like any type of real estate at a young age, it can be very intimidating, because if you know, our parents or uncles or aunts, if they have not been in real estate, you're the first one to get into it. You obviously didn't learn that growing up.
Yeah, they don't.
So
have
you really don't know a lot, but you're dealing with large transactions, like the largest, you know, purchases for people in their lives. You know, so it can be intimidating. Yeah, for sure, and you can have some self-doubt. But again, it's just getting over that self-doubt and just watching YouTube videos, you know, tuning into podcasts, you know, like really insert yourself in that field, because it builds your confidence. Did you ever listen to what people say? Like, you know, like the hate, you know, oh, Jess is, you know, she ain't gonna make that. She ain't gonna do it. Like, you know, what the hell she thinks she doing? Like, did you ever get backlash from people? Not really. I mean, not to my face. You know? Oh, okay. You know how that goes. But like, hey, Jess, like, yo, good luck. Yeah, she ain't gonna pass. So she ain't gonna pass. So proud of you. Well, you know, Gary Vee says it the most is like, you know, the moment you stop caring what people think and what they're gonna say or what they appear
whatever it may be, the moment you stop caring, that's when that magical happens.
Exactly.
And it clearly seems that you don't care what people say.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people that really do care.
Yeah.
And they take it to heart. And they will.
It affects them. And how they move.
Yes. Yeah. It affects their work ethics, just how they feel about themselves, and social media is. I mean, it's the gift and the curse, man. Like it's just so draining. And Job and I talked about this numerous times. It's just like, when I grew up, this wasn't here. You had to go get what you wanted.
Right.
There was no hey, who would have ever thought me watching you every day is entertaining?
Right.
Who would have ever thought?
Right.
I clearly these pioneers of making these apps and technology, but I would have never thought that we're people watching.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing.
It is, people watching.
It's the same thing as window shopping. Oh, that looks good. We can't afford it, but we'll continue to look at it.
Exactly.
And I would have never thought that this is it right now. This is what we're in, and this is not. It'll get worse before it starts to get better.
Right.
And obviously, we have the people that like clout. And it's just showing off.
For sure. Flashy.
And just for likes. And this. You know how many people I've seen on Instagram saying, oh, if you sign up now, I'm giving 50,000 to someone. Sign up, follow this page or this page.
Yeah, the giveaways.
And down the road, you hear a story about them getting in trouble with the feds. It's like you don't know what to believe.
Right.
It's
a risky game. It's a risky game.
And now we're getting the people that are, I haven't seen it in a while, but the Bitcoin people.
Right.
The mining. Oh, I made XYZ dollars on this trade, this and that, and they're just scamming people. So, is there I guess that type of scamming in, I guess, the real estate or in the Airbnb? Is there some type of form of scams? I'm sure there is. I just don't know what it is.
I think there is. I mean, you have your social media gurus, you know, that put on a lot of front and show you all the goods because, they have a course or they have a mentorship or they have something that they want to sell you and, they don't really back it up. So I guess that can be a scam in a sense. As far as like Airbnb goes, I mean, you have your people that, will try and get their money back for the night or, there was a lot of noise, and you have proof that there's no noise. They're just trying to get their money back. Scammers like that.
Have you ever heard of stories of, like, the people that are persistent in wanting their money back and, like, they come back to the house and, like, try to, like, vandalize?
No.
You haven't heard?
I haven't had that experience.
That's what I've always been fearful of that. Just because obviously they know the address, but obviously, yes, they do stuff like that, then you can call the cops. But just you get that pain in the ass customer that just won't take no for an answer.
Right.
And every industry has that person that has that customer. So I didn't know if you experienced that or someone you know of that that could have experienced something like that.
No, I've never experienced it. I've never heard of it because majority of good short-term rentals have security systems. They have the cameras out front, out back, the Ring doorbell. Okay. So you kind of just stay protected because if that person goes back to the house, I mean, you got you got some issues and you got a bigger problem,
For sure, 100%. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Deep question.
Yes.
Very deep.
Yes. Yes.
Let's get into it.
We getting it, Jess. We getting there. We trying to find out who you are.
Who is Jess Rightt? So in the next 5 years, definitely, I'm on a fitness journey right now. So in the next 5 years, just in the best shape, of my life, just, very consistent, very, plant-based vibes, just eating well.
Shout out to my plant-based community.
Yes. You are? Okay. Just really taking care of my body, just on a whole nother level. Traveling, just having the passive income, the successful short-term rental business, at least 10 units for sure, and entering into like the multifamily space of
Okay.
real estate.
Okay.
As I build a short-term rental business to maybe sell it, maybe not, maybe keep it and just let the income coming in, but just make it more passive than what it is right now.
Awesome.
And just traveling.
Okay.
And giving back, because I think that's important.
Okay. Awesome. I like that. Yeah. The people got to know. They want to.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like buying a car. They want to see why should we invest in Jess Rightt.
Right.
You know.
100%.
You asked me a question earlier on why I wanted to do the podcast.
Yes. What made you do the podcast?
It's a good question. See, she's the first person to ask. Clyde didn't ask. Tyler didn't ask. No, I'm joking. No, like I started to say, I wanted to take the focus off of me, and as I said in the intro, just shed light on people. And I think doing so, it creates an amazing, just vibrant energy that it just to the community of just people. It just brings good energy, and in doing that, spreading that positivity, it's infectious. It passes on.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, like, yo, Lovelock, she's just doing, it's not about him. He's just literally interviewing random people, different people that are doing dope things just to show the world. And I feel that love will get us a long way. They're always talking about love this, love that. We should do this, you know, be kind to one another, because hate is real, you know, and it's, you may think it's not, just like how, you know, people don't think, you know, the devil's real. And so why do we talk about love so much?
Right.
There's a good and a bad, you know, there's rainy days and there's amazing days. If there wasn't any of that, you wouldn't know the difference between the two.
Right.
So spreading positivity on to people, and what they're doing. And I being selfless is what I want to become more of. You know, there's no money involved. You know, it's just, yo, who is Jess? I've been following you for a while, and I want to know more about what you're doing, and just spreading light. And I'm just a firm believer that love can heal the planet.
Yes.
And it will.
That's beautiful. Can we get some snaps for that? That was
snappy snap.
Did we feel that energy in the room? No, that was beautiful, and I respect it. And I think the strongest thing is moving with love and like really putting that action into it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And just like really showing with actions of love.
Yep.
That really like makes a difference and inspires others, touches others to really be better and spread more love. You know?
Exactly. So I'm gonna ask you like one quirky question, one brain teaser, and like one like situational question, and then so we could wrap up and you could tell people where to find you, stuff like that. So the first funny question is, well, kind
ice
of
cream
funny.
or cake? Is that
well, ice cream or cake?
Cake.
Okay.
Cake. I'm not a big fan of dairy, so I mean.
You know, okay. All
Shout
right.
out to my plant-based friend in the house.
Watermelon or pineapple?
Ooh, watermelon for sure. Best fruit out
Turn up. What superpower would you choose for yourself? Give me an example of how it would apply in your career.
Difference. I would say fly.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I can always solve the problem because I can just fly there. And I could have multiple properties in different cities and states and countries.
Yeah.
And I could just fly my way there.
You're not scared of heights, are you?
A little bit, but you know.
How are you going to fly there?
It's my power. So
okay, all right.
I would be at peace in my power.
All right, maybe when you get the power, you'll cure the afraid of heights.
Yeah, that'll just go. You know, it won't exist.
Here's a little brain teaser question. How do you know if your refrigerator light bulb is working?
You open it.
Okay, thank you.
Is that right?
That's right. And here's a situational question.
This is fun.
What's the biggest 180 you've made in your career? Have you gotten anyone to drastically change their position on something? It's kind of like a two-part.
What's the biggest 180 I've made in my career?
Yeah, and then have you ever gotten anyone to drastically change their either position or like a drastic change?
I would say the biggest 180 was really fixing my mindset into putting in the work and getting over fears of, just get on the dialer, start cold calling, looking for, off-market properties. And then I feel like that changed the perspective of people that wants to get into real estate and that I've been talking to, because it's, it's like, oh, okay, this is possible. You can find this deal at, $40,000.
Yes.
You just have to put in the work.
Okay. I like that. Because if it's 360, you're right back where you started.
Right.
We don't want that.
Right.
All right. So I think that wraps up our time. How much time we got? We're right there? All right. Well,
good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again for listening and watching Love Over Everything podcast.
Yes.
We're here with the wonderful Jess Rightt. Just let us know where we can find you.
Jess Rightt with 2 T's on Instagram, on TikTok. I will be helping people build a short-term rental business. So if you guys are interested in that, go to wealthinthestreets.com and message me on Instagram and TikTok. I do respond. And thank you for having me.
Yeah,
this has been good.
It's
really
been an
good
honor.
energy.
It's been an honor. Thank you for coming. So you guys, love over everything. Yep.
Yep.